Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Zodiacs. It is Friday, February 10th, 2023. Welcome to the show. For those of you that got the beginning, I hope you liked the new intro.
I
Uh,
love it.
it was time to update because he's no longer a guest co-host. He's just a co-host. You've been reduced. It's just you're not special anymore, Richard Wayne Kilgo.
I love it.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you had a good week and you grabbed a cup of coffee or something to drink and you're going to sit back and enjoy the show. How are you, Mr. Kilgo?
I am good. I mean, this week I feel like has flown by. I know we were kind of just talking about last week when we talked about astrology. We're talking about the full moon that happened on Sunday, and I was definitely feeling those full moon and Leo vibes. I definitely feel like for me it was very clearing, energizing. I feel like I woke up on Monday with way more energy than I typically have, and really felt like I was starting to make some progress and move forward. So it was a good week overall. How about for you?
Yes.
A
I
lot
felt,
happening.
I felt like it was just a week. For those of you that have followed the journey, um, I was working on getting my deck together, my coaching deck. For those of you that I've used it several times here on the show, it's called the alignment. And I guess this week I've been dealing with the printers, getting it printed. So today, blessings. I hit the send button on the pavement. So I should be, I say we should be getting the first 100 decks in by the middle of March. But for any of you who have ever dealt with printers, I never have. And Mr. Kevin Moyers, who was my publisher who passed away last year, no, 2 years ago, a year ago now, um, he was on the dealt with all that. He knew files and sizes, and all of a sudden I got put in that position and it was stressful. It was so stressful. I think that's why my body's kind of like relaxing today because I'm done with that part. I just have to wait for them to come in. So the energy, but you were mentioning that not much has changed between last week's energy and today's energy.
Yes, yeah, I know. Typically, we have retrogrades to speak to, and of course, there's other aspects going on right now, like the moon is in Libra, which has a very balancing effect on our emotions. Right now, Mercury is in Capricorn, so the ways that we're communicating are very specific. We have goals set in mind when we're speaking and communicating lately. And also, right now, Venus is in Pisces, so it puts us a little bit more into an emotional love, feeling connected energy. But with Pisces energy, it can definitely make it feel a little unreal as well. So we have those kind of aspects going on right now. But I know most people they like to hear about the retrogrades and what we have happening with that because obviously retrogrades are the better known of the astrology ideals and ideas. And they're more impactful too, so that's why people tend to pay attention to them more. But next week, we'll be able to report more on our transition from Aquarius into Pisces, the sun in Aquarius going into Pisces, and we'll definitely be feeling a big shift, and it'll be the last month of clearing up and clearing out all of the last year, basically, that we've been experiencing, all the lessons that we've learned, and bringing that forward into when the sun moves into Aries. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at astrologically.
Sweet. Well, for everybody who is new to the show, here's how we do it around here. Uh, if you're up for us to pulling some cards for you, we take turns. So depending on where you are on the list, all you have to do is type me in the comment section, whatever channel you're watching on, and we'll put some cards for you. Um, the tipping is only if you're able to and would like to. It is not up obligatory. So don't feel like you have to. But just say me in the comment section. Tell us how you're doing, and we will pull some cards for you. Meanwhile, one question that I get asked often is, do I pull for myself often? And before I answer, do you pull for yourself?
What a question.
Am I getting
Um,
am I getting too personal? Is that too well,
you
pardon me,
know me, I'm
sir.
willing to share anything. Yes, I do pull for myself, and it's usually oracle cards that I'll use on a daily basis that I'll pull in just to get a general idea of what the universe wants me to focus on or what I need to be paying attention to. So when I am feeling like I need some guidance on my life altogether, then that's when I do pull out the tarot instead. So obviously, when I read here, I do use the tarot, and it's a lot, in my opinion, it's a more detailed medium for me to use. But I also find, especially when I do oracle cards, because I'll typically, I do it for you, I do it for a lot of close friends. If I'm pulling for myself, I'll pull for someone else, set the intention, take a picture of the card, and then also take a picture of the book and what the book meaning is. So I enjoy that part of it. And I feel like for me too, as a tool, if I'm waking up and I'm moody or not feeling great about my life at that moment, I find that pulling card not only for myself but pulling it for others really helps raise my energy, knowing that I'm putting some good out into the world for people that I care about. But then also, it's very rare that I pull a card and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. For the most part, I feel like every time I'm pulling a card, whether it's for me or someone else, it usually has that solid, consistent vibe and resonates with me.
I tend to pull cards when I have a new deck. If I buy a new one, the first person I'll read for is me, just to see
Mm-hmm.
the energy. And then I'll usually pull cards for Christian and see where his energy is. Um, but then I kind of stop unless it's something like if I'm waiting for you to log in, or if I'm doing the show by myself and I'm just waiting for the right time. Sometimes I'll just okay, let's see where I am, just pull.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, sometimes it's way too accurate. I'm like, you don't know me, cards. Stop it.
How dare you?
Dare you? You think you know me? The audacity of the cards. But yeah, that's the way I work. For all the people that are joining us, we haven't had anybody say me yet. So if you're interested in pulling some cards for you, just type me. Um, Wayne started next week, so I'll be starting this week, and then whatever place you land on. Um, we don't have any takers yet, so we're glad you're here. There we go. We have our first person. Elizabeth Tong, welcome to the show. So I'm going to take Elizabeth, and then the next person that sign on will be with Wayne. All right, Elizabeth. It's wrong button. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome to the show. We're so glad you're here. You're the first one tonight. Let me go ahead and just count the cards for you. I hope everybody's okay, having a good, ready for the weekend. Super Bowl is coming. All right, Elizabeth. So starting with your yesterday. Up until your yesterday, what I have is the Get Over Yourself card, but it's upside down. So it tells me that up until yesterday, we were pushing a lot of our energy. We were reading, we were focusing on other people's energy. I feel like you were too, I say this with love, but like you were too busy focusing on other folks to not focus on you. And what that did, and what that's doing, because here's the blow off steam card, but it's also upside down. And I'm gonna connect with the last card. The third card is Decorate Yourself, and this is about paying attention to you and acknowledging you. So what it tells me is that while you were putting all this energy on other people, and trying to help other people and do for other people, you were building up. And now that it's time for you to blow off some of that steam, and which you should do, you should hold on to that. Sometimes the resentments, the angers, all that makes us change our energy and who we are. Just pay attention that it doesn't take you too far on the other side of the spectrum. Now, the thing is that your spirit has a turn back card, so I feel like you want to go back to normal or simpler moments in your life, and your spirit is kind of anxious for that. But your heart is telling you take take a breathe, take a step back, acknowledge what's happening. I basically the thing is, don't do anything right now out of that stress or anger or being tired. Yeah, because here it is. See, I'm telling you, you have to step away from the crowd. This is about, like, you've been so involved in other people's energy, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just sometimes we do that. We take care of other people. We're watching over people, and that we stop taking care of ourselves. So what it tells me is, take care of you. Take a little breath. Step away from the crowd. Return to your basics, so that you can change who you want to be, or how you want to be seen, or see yourself. But it's important to blow off some of that steam before it grows so much that you just explode. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. Does that make sense to you, Wayne? You're muted.
I'm getting used to like muting it so that way the cards, when I shuffle, totally forgot. Yes, that totally makes sense.
I just feel like sometimes we invest so much time. We invest so much time in taking care of other people that we stop paying attention to our happy or sad moments, and it eventually, like a steamer, like not a steamer, but a pressure cooker. We're so busy with all the other pots and pans on the stove, we forget about the pressure cooker until it gets so poof and it just explodes. I'm glad it made sense. Yeah. So focus on yourself a little bit. And if you need to get mad, get mad. I feel like sometimes we'll keep chatting while anybody else chimes in with me. But sometimes I feel like, particularly parents with children, partners, we sometimes, if we're caregivers or we take care of somebody else, we'll forget that we need to release some of that energy.
Definitely.
What else is happening before somebody else? Super Bowl is Sunday. Are you a Super Bowl watcher?
I am a Super Bowl food taster. That is what Super Bowl is for me. Other people may gather around at the TV, yell and scream at it. I am a halftime show person, and I am what food is there, and I'm going to be snacking throughout the whole event. And maybe I'll watch like 2 or 3 plays of the game itself, but yeah, for the most part, I like the party part of it, but I'm not really drawn to the TV.
I think we have somebody else on. Oh, okay, Gabe. You read him last time, but you want to read him again to just see where he is today? All right, cool. I'll let you.
All right, let me shuffle him up for you, Gabe. All right, our weekly touch base. Let's see what we have. Good things coming for you in the near future. All right. So, Gabe, this full moon that we just had was probably very clearing for you. And I mean that in a very intense way. You have the Ten of Swords for you now. This card is all about karmic release. So that would tell me that over the last week, you've experienced some type of situation where it's done. Whatever was up in the air, whatever you weren't sure about, whatever choices you were trying to make, all of that's been handled, decided whether or not it was by your own hand or a situation playing itself out. So that is something to celebrate, even though it's a very intense card to have, knowing that you've cleared out old issues. You're not going to be having to deal with those same issues again. The card that's crossing you is the Knight of Wands. So it tells me that even though you've just finished the cycle and this karmic release, it feels like you're ready. You're wanting to just run, go do, make things happen. But you still don't have the energy for it yet. And that makes sense. You still have to take some time to finish processing the old karmic issues that you've been dealing with, and then you'll be able to move forward more easily. The theme for you right now is the Page of Cups. So this tells me that there's new emotional beginning for you too. So I think that definitely bodes well for you in feeling like, even if this has been an intense transition for you, it's something that it's a welcome. You're feeling like the weight is lifted off your shoulders emotionally. Recent past affecting your present is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So whatever this karmic release was, I think it was definitely tied to career, finances, how you're bringing in money and abundance. So there's been some type of shift or change for you, and you're going to be doing things a bit differently going forward. Current influences affecting your present is the Four of Swords reversed. So right now you're in a period where I think that the universe is trying to get you to slow down and really process what has just occurred for you. And I get a sense with this being reversed that you're not necessarily wanting to do that fully. You're not wanting to lay down and really have to like do a full going back over everything that happened and figuring out, what's the gold from the situation. But I do think that you would benefit from it. So try not to resist the process so much. Just allow yourself to process and be. Don't feel like you should be thinking a certain way, or if you're trying to plan future game plans, still not the time for it. Take the time to really understand what has occurred, what the gold is in the situation for you. And future influences coming into being is the Empress, which is all about abundance in all forms: emotional, physical, creative, all of those things. So with that being said, I think you're headed in the right direction. It may not feel like that at this point, but that's because you are being challenged to go outside of your current worldview, the way that you have seen the world. There's been certain ways that you realized you've cut yourself off from the world and are seeing things differently probably than most do. So where your focus is really, I think, trying to see things from a new perspective and see things from a more enlightened perspective than you have in the past. What the universe is providing you in the situation is the Knight of Cups reverse. So what that would say is this is really a time where the heavier emotions, the negative emotions, the more challenging emotions that have come up for you, the universe is bringing those to light so that they can be finally dealt with and handled. So if it feels like there's a lot of negativity and a lot of negative thoughts that are surrounding you right now, it's the universe kind of looking here, say, look at this, look at this. Where's the gold in this situation? So you can process it and release it and be done with it completely. The guidance from the tarot is the Nine of Cups reversed. This is the genie card. So even if it is reversed, it basically is saying that your wish will be granted. Whatever you're asking for will happen. Now, the caveat to that is to make sure that what you're focused on is what you're wanting, is something that is of a positive intent in your life. Because if you are allowing negative thoughts to continue to run the ship, or things are never going to change the way that they've always been, is the way that they always will be, then the universe is going to give you more of that. So it's very important that you understand what it is that you're focusing on, and that is what the universe is providing you fully. And your outcome is the Hermit. So this really is a time for you to have a better understanding of yourself, a deeper understanding of yourself, how that self interacts and deals with others. And really, it's a great time for you to better understand and accept yourself fully, and not feel like you're having to make more decisions based off what other people expect of you, but you're really able to start making decisions and better explain why you're doing the things that you're doing. And if someone doesn't agree, they can at least understand your intent behind it. And it's your choice to move forward with that or not. So there you go, Gabe.
I was like, oh yeah, he's done. Everybody's really quiet tonight. I see there's a big crowd watching. Again, anybody who's interested, here we go. Current was put on, so hopefully future will come true. I tell folks that, like, when I pull cards, we're talking about, I pull 6 cards. I'm not sure how many cards you pull, but I do 6 cards: past, present, future, your heart space, your spirit space, and the outcome, or the, yeah, and or what we need to work on. But I'm like, if your yesterday influences your today, then you can now influence your tomorrow. But if you pay attention to where your spirit is and where your heart is, then your outcome, that's kind of giving you a guidance to the outcome. But all that, the outcome can change if you all of a sudden decide to do something completely different. then we're just giving you a little roadmap, a guide to where things can go. Uh, we're not like 100% like this is your life game, or listen to me or your life will end. Although sometimes I do feel like saying that, like especially clients who have been to me several times, like, are we still in that situation? Like, are you? Why are you listening to the universe? Anyway, all right. So Ginger is here, so I'll pull for Ginger, and then again, anybody else, please just type me in whatever page you're watching us. Oh, I didn't think I welcomed everybody. Welcome people from Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Please share this on your page. Like the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know every time there's a new show. And if you missed anything, or if you've been on the show before and you forgot what we said, you can always go back to the page you were on and just scroll and find the show. You'll find it. And now I'm dating the show so you'll know what date it was that you were on. All right. So I'm gonna put oh, hi Davey. Listen. Great. Yeah, well, we'd love for you to listen for a bit. But if you'd like us to pull some cards for you, please say me. I'm gonna take Ginger, and the next person will be with Wayne. Ginger, hi, how you doing? Thank you for this one jumped out, so I'm gonna pull that one for the end. So Ginger, the first card that comes up for you in your yesterday, it's the listen to the music card. So this one for me is always two things. Number one, it is about the music that is around you. It's about being part of music. It's part of an entertainment. It's being letting music be part of your life. The other part of it is also about the rhythm and the beats. This is about your life falling into the rhythm and beats that you want it to be in. Does that make sense? So like if your life was a little hectic, it's falling into the spaces that it wants to be. Number two, it's clean up your mess upside down. So what it tells me is that some of the things that happened to you, some of the things that were messed up, wasn't all you. So it's important when it's not all you to not have to clean all of it yourself. People, whoever this other person was that was involved in the situation, you need to let them apologize, fix, mend, clean up their own stuff. I say this with love, but don't keep enabling others when it wasn't your fault. Number three, the patience card upside down. So it tells me that it's time. It's time to pull the cord. Like you've been patient enough. You've held the space long enough. This is your moment. So it's important that you, again, let other people handle their own situations. And if you, we were just talking to Elizabeth, if it's time for you to get mad, get mad. In your spirit card, it's the rebel card, but it's upside down. So it's telling me that little bit inside of you that doesn't want to follow all the rules, that doesn't want to do everything the way that you're supposed to, or color between the lines, it's time to be a little rebellious. And the reason that you are needing to just take care of your own stuff is because in your heart space, it's changing the scenery. It's about a new way of looking at things, and your heart is ready for it. Your spirit wants to be a little rebel, and your heart wants to change the way that it sees things. And where I feel like more it's about where you are in the hierarchy of relationships. Like if you weren't in control, it's time to take a little bit more control of the relationship. And then finally, it's about seeing the light. And that's what it is. The moment you take some of that baggage that you've been carrying it off of you and give it back to the person it belongs to, you're going to see that your energy is going to come back. That spark that's been missing is coming back to you. But it won't happen until you get back into your rhythm, change your scenery, and that's changing people, places, and things. Turn your light back on and be the rebel that you want to be. Doesn't mean you're going to get in trouble. It's just be a little rebellious. Go against what everybody's expecting. Stop being so patient and let other people clean their mess. And then this one is the one that jumped out. Apologize. Say I'm sorry just for the things that you did, just what you did, and let the other people handle their own thing. So long as you keep cleaning messes up for other people, they're never going to learn the lesson that they need to learn. So make sure that you Make sure you just do you. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like sometimes we want to take ownership of other people's situation, and like in a breakup, we want to take on all of it, all the responsibility of the breakup, and to not cause arguments, to not cause any problems, but then you walk away with all the burden of it. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. We both have been to breakups. I definitely. He says with a certain silence.
I may not say much, but I say much.
But don't we, like, I know I've been through breakups where my partner was cheating or doing bad stuff or just being a total a butt. And thank you, Davey. I'm so glad you got a chance to hang out with us for a bit. Have a good evening. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Davey is an old promo friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so, and then we walk away and we defend the people to other people. Not that you have to go and badmouth them, but when people throw it out, it's like, well, what did you do? And we're like, oh, well, maybe I just wasn't there for them. I worked too much. But no, sometimes it's like, it didn't work out. They were in one place, I was in another. It's not a lie. It's just part of the reality. Look at me having a therapy session right now. All right. Juan is next, and Juan is with Wayne.
Awesome. And I think I read for you last week, so we'll see if there's been any new developments. I don't quite remember last week what we covered, but it looks like with the cards that I have dealt for you, you're dealing with some type of career, creative transition, change, challenge. The You Now card is the King of Wands reversed. Wands represent creative energy. It's about timing. And then, of course, kings who represent that masculine energy of going out and doing. But with this being reversed, it feels like there is a lack of creative energy, a lack of drive, a lack of wanting to get up and go and do and make things happen every day. And part of the reason why is your challenge right now is the Seven of Wands. Now, with the Seven of Wands, it means that there is progress being made, that you're still having to battle things out, but you do have the higher ground. But you're definitely being challenged right now. And I would say the big challenge is a slowdown of expectations and what it is that you've been working towards creatively. The theme for you right now is the sun. This is a great position for that. So despite there being challenges with timing moving forward, there's definitely an energy of childlike exuberance, excitement, fun. So definitely that can be a theme of what's going on for you. Recent past affecting your present is the Six of Wands. Excuse me, lots of wands going on. Six of Wands is really about coming home celebrated, coming home having accomplished the things that you've wanted to accomplish. But with this card being reversed, I would say that there's been some type of event, some type of landmark event that's occurred that didn't turn out the way that you thought it would. And you're still kind of reeling from, that was the way that it was going to be. This was going to be what I was successful at. And it didn't come to fruition, at least not in the way that you thought it did. Coming into the present, you have the Queen of Swords, which tells me that you're really in a period of trying to better understand your thoughts, your thought processes, and how to better communicate with other people. There's been some type of realization, some type of truth that you've either realized yourself or that someone else has pointed out to you that is making you kind of question your behavior, question your motives, question the way that you think about things and how you move forward. So there's likely going to be some type of transition in your near future. You have the Six of Swords reversed, where you're going to decide to make some changes. You're going to decide that what you believe to be true is no longer true to you. And that is going to change the way that you kind of perceive your daily life going forward as well. So a lot of analysis around your thoughts, communications with others, and being able to more clearly communicate what it is that you want and what you're trying to accomplish. Your focus right now, it seems like you're really focused on, it would be like downtime, trying to like rest, meditate, and relax. But with it being reversed, you're still having issues with being able to really go deep in on those, the things that may be affecting you on a deeper level. the universe, what the universe is providing you in this situation is the Five of Pentacles reversed. So you may be feeling right now like the universe, it has you out on your butt, that you're not necessarily supported by the universe. It feels like you don't have the things that you need to be supported. But what the universe is really giving you in this situation is a true baseline. I feel like there's been a lot of fears that have been running in your mind, running in your subconscious about what will happen, what should happen, and what likely is to happen. And I think the universe is pointing these things out to you so you have a better understanding of a lot of those fears are not going to happen to you. A lot of those deeper realizations are not necessarily going to affect you in the way that you think it will. And so I think that it's important that the universe is highlighting to you that, I don't feel like things are especially challenging for you right now. And with them not being that challenging, this is really your baseline. So understanding that the universe is supporting you through. Your outcome is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So this would tell me that you're on track to accomplish the goals. These goals feels like the long term, being able to know that you're being taken care of and that the people that you care about are taken care of too. Now, this tells me that this is coming to fruition for you. However, it may not be showing up in the exact way that you think it will. And with that being said, I know at the beginning I spoke to some type of transition for you, like career transition. So maybe there's this shift that's currently happening for you, and moving forward into the shift, I think you're going to find more abundance than you expected, and it's going to come about in a different way. So definitely encourage you to embrace these new thoughts, allow yourself to see the world differently, allow yourself to see yourself more clearly, and I think you'll find a lot more success in what you're trying to accomplish.
Cool. I hope that made sense for you, Juan. We had a message from Ginger. She said, "Spot on. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Hearts to everybody." And then I will take care of Serena. And then for everybody watching, we still have 30 more minutes. So if you want to chime in and say me, we will happily pull for you. It's only halfway through the show. So I will take Serena while Wayne rests for a little bit. Serena, starting off with you in your yesterday. Interesting. This came up just right now for somebody else. It's blow off some steam. This is about you and letting go of some of that pressure that you've been under. And I'm going to say this because for a lot of folks, we're still kind of coming out of the whole lockdown COVID situation. So for a lot of folks, a lot of that stress built up. Add to that all of our personal independent stuff that goes on in life. But right now, in your today, the decision that you're asking about, the thing in question, it's no for right now. I would say don't start anything or don't get involved into anything that you're not ready for. Particularly because it has the situation at hand. I feel like you want to make it personal, but don't. This is so not. Like, it will not reflect on you as a person. It will not hurt anybody the way that you think it is. And I can only say this because I tend to do that sometimes. I make the scenario bigger in my head than what it really is. So your spirit is ready to wake up and get back. Your spirit is ready to get back into the game. So allow those connections to happen, because this is really cool, because your spirit is about rise and shine. It's about getting there, and your heart is about letting go and letting the flow go. Just both your spirit and your heart are want to let go of what's holding them back, what's pressuring them, because your final card is just keep dancing. So either it's just the action of go and dance, or and B, it's also about the movement of things. And so give yourself permission to move again. Give your energy permission to move around again. And I apologize for the people that are getting the messages from this Queen Rose. I will delete her in just a minute. But this is the time for you to let out some of that steam, enjoy life, so you can keep dancing and your energy can rise again. Don't be offended by the people that have left your energy, and I assure you that they're not offended either. But this is time to say no to some of those energies that are wanting to come back into your life. This is not a good moment. Maybe some people are wanting to be part of your life again. But don't let them do that. Like, just they've already stressed you out enough, so it's time for you to it's time for you to just cut them out of your life. Basically, is what it is. So I hope that made sense. I know it is. Again, for those of you that are getting this Queen Rose, it's a hacker, so don't pay attention to it. Please don't pay attention to them. I did have one more person and it lost it. Okay, so I did. Pardon me,
Andrea, I think.
Yes, Andrea is with Wayne.
All right. All right, Andrea. So it looks like right now you are focused on career. Career is at focus for you. You have the 7 of Pentacles for you now. So this tells me that you've been working hard, that you have built your career over time. And right now, the challenge for you is the Hermit. So this would tell me that you're being challenged by your own personal views. I think the career and work that you've done up to this point have been rewarding. And I think that you've come to a point where you're now starting to inject your own personal ideals, experiences, and beliefs around your career, what you're to expect. And in a way, I think that you've come to realize that the way things have been in the past, there's nothing that's going to be like that again going forward for you, especially when it comes to career and what you're trying to accomplish. So there's also a sense of nostalgia, and I think being able to, like I said, appreciate where you've come from, and I think infuse your own personal blend of expectations into the work that you're doing. With that being said, recent past affecting your present, you have the 9 of Cups reversed. I'm getting a sense that you are a really excellent manifester, that things tend to manifest for you fairly quickly. I think the challenge for you is that things manifest for you fairly quickly. So if you're not quite sure what it is that you're wanting, or you're not very specific about what it is that you're working to manifest, you find that these things manifest and they're unfulfilling and dissatisfactory. There's been some type of, for you, the current influences is the 2 of Cups reversed. So I would say there's been some type of friendship, relationship that has recently, I would say, soured or challenged you more. And it really is causing, I think, some deeper beliefs that you have to be challenged about your relationships and what you're willing to accept in relationships, what you want in relationships. And that's leading to future influences, the 10 of Cups reversed. So I feel like the situation that you're in, if there's a specific person that you're inquiring about, or you think is being, that first comes to mind as I'm speaking about this, I would say there has been multiple opportunities for this person to change, multiple opportunities for you to see them in a different light, and it still has not changed. I would say that the guidance from the tarot, this is actually the guidance from the tarot, is the Fool. So new beginnings, fresh starts. So I would say whatever relationship that this is being referenced, this person, the universe is saying, is not trustworthy, not worthy of your time, that they're not necessarily the person that they claim to be. And even though you tend to see them both as the kind of knight in shining armor, you also recognize that there's qualities there that are not meant to be there for you over the long term, where those qualities will not let you feel supported or cared for in that relationship. So with that being said, your outcome card is the Emperor reverse. So this person, this energy is definitely a masculine energy in your life, and someone who is most likely domineering or very controlling as well. So just know that if you continue to invest in this person and invest in having this person around and spending time with this person, you're going to continue to have this type of control pushed on you. And I think that really the best option for you at this time is to move forward and see what else is possible, what other possibilities can come to pass for you going forward.
Cool. All right. For everybody who was contacted by the Queen Rose, she has been deleted and blocked. Well, it's always a good day when somebody hacks.
Yeah.
Somebody, you've made it when people are trying to hack into your accounts. And don't worry, they're just They're just spam people trying to. Thank you. You're welcome. I didn't read you, but Juan also says thank you. Uh, and we have 20 more minutes. So if anybody has joined in recently, all you need to do is type me in the comment section. Um, we all.
Did you? I was wanting to ask you. Did you do any type of ritual or set any intentions for this last full moon? And have you noticed anything coming from it?
Yes, we lit a candle here at Christians, and my work, my auditions have opened up a lot. Um, I had like 3 auditions to choose from last week, and um, some work opened up, and then today, like, there's just, which is what I mean, for anybody who knows me, I'm a workaholic. So, uh,
Capricorn.
for me to be blessed, how dare you? For me to be blessed, feel blessed, is to be able to work, and um, it definitely manifested this year. I mean, this year, this last week. It's like, well, this year too, I guess. Hi, Gayla, how you doing? I mean, Gail, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Yes, for sure. I will poop for you. So I'm gonna let Wayne rest for a little bit. How you doing, Gail? Welcome to the show. Have you been to the show before? I don't know if you've been here before, but welcome. We're gonna see where your energy is today. So first of all, I want to say that there's some purple in your cards. Oh, which is interesting because you're wearing purple in your picture, but there's purple in your cards, and I'll show you the cards in a minute. So in your yesterday, and also interesting is that if y'all watch the show regularly, you know that both Wayne and I, there's cards that could pop up several times during the show, even when we're shuffling. So number one for you is to keep dancing. We were just talking about this to somebody else about the rhythm and beats of life, but it also is about dancing. So it's about moving your body and allowing the rhythm and the beats of your life to fall into place. And because of this is in your yesterday, it means that we're coming into that space. In your today, the thank God card is upside down. But what it tells me is just some of the things that are happening right now. And for everybody watching, we always thank for the great stuff that's happening, but we sometimes forget to thank the universe, God, life, for some of those little hiccups or those bumps in the road. And why do I say that? Because it's the bumps in the roads that usually teach us the lessons that we need to learn. That's what we're grateful for. That's what we appreciate. We don't necessarily appreciate the bad thing that happened. We appreciate the connection to the life lessons and then to us. And what's going to happen is some of that fog is starting to clear up, but it's not clear yet. So some of the doubts, questions, insecurities that are still in your head, they're going to be there for a little bit. In your spirit space, look forward, it's upside down. So it tells me that we're still a little insecure about the direction that we want to take in certain things. Does this mean in the whole life? No. I feel like there's certain decisions that we're not clear about whether we're heading in the right place or not. Interesting enough that the connection between your yesterday and your heart, there's music, dancing and music. And I feel like your heart is ready to get back into the beat and the rhythm of the music. And your yesterday is like, okay, we need to get back into the beat and the rhythm of dancing. So there's this two parts about things falling back into place, if that makes sense. And what we need to work on is about having fun. It's upside down. So I feel like some of these things that are in the fog, we can't quite find the amusement, the amusing part of it, but it'll come to you. And make sure that you include that happiness in your life again. I'm not saying, and I don't feel like whole life is miserable or sad. I just feel like that one particular thing that you're dealing with at the moment that doesn't seem to have anything to celebrate about, it'll come back to you. So make sure that you keep dancing and listening to the music and have some fun. Keep looking forward. The fog will clear, and we'll be grateful for the lesson that we learned. I just feel like Not yet, not right now, but the once the fog clears, it's when everything makes a little more sense. Does that make sense to you? Like, yes, but it's been a while. Yeah, that's right. You've been here, but um, we can't see the entertainment or the fun through the fog most of the time. And I don't know how else to put that. There is no other there's no other clearer way to say that. But um, yeah, I'll leave it. I feel like my head is in a fog right now. Mental note: don't take such a long nap on Friday nights before a show because
I feel like I've been doing that like every week for the past few nights or past few weeks for the show, and it definitely puts you into a different headspace recovering from the nap.
and I slept for like 2 hours today.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I would have loved
I
that.
woke up at 7 o'clock. Well, actually, I woke up at 5:30, but I had my first meeting at 8, and then it wasn't intense. It was just a weird meeting. But then I did an hour and a half uh, alignment session, which for those of you, if you see the tag, I am a spiritual life coach, and I'm starting to own the name. Like I am a spiritual life coach. That's my. It's more than an intuitive or a card reader. I'm a spiritual life coach. So anyway, I had a client this morning, and it was an hour and a half of a session. And thank you for being here. Sending you lots of love and good energy. Uh, I will be in. I don't know if I shared this with you. I will be in New Orleans, knock on wood, in May for the National Latinx HIV Conference. I submitted an abstract. I think I did mention it to you, but I'll mention it to the audience. I submitted an abstract to present at the conference. So I will have my own workshop where I'm going to be presenting to case managers, social workers, nurses, maybe some doctors, and definitely some clients, people living with HIV, on how to utilize the alignment workshop to remove barriers and blockages and burnout in their lives. Uh, so the idea is, well, let me first clarify for everybody watching. The way that I have learned is that the barriers and the blockages that we have in our life, which cause us to keep bumping into that wall, is what causes the burnout sometimes. Because, say for instance, people say, I work 10 hours a day every day and I just exhausted and it work. Well, then stop working 10 hours a day. And yes, some people are like, well, that's easier said than done. Yes, but if that's really your goal, then you need to work towards that. Like if that's, or I'm tired of this job. I can't stand it anymore. Well, start changing jobs. And again, people are like, you're saying it's so easy. I'm like, no, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you don't like your job, have you sent resumes to other jobs? Have you applied other places? And people usually say no. I'm like, then the universe probably has a new job behind you. You're not looking for it, so it's going to sit there and spoil. So the idea is to teach people, healthcare workers, on how to identify their blockages and barriers, so that then they can use my system to help their clients or patients to align their energy and find their own blockages and barriers and remove them. So I get to present in May to help, and some of them, a lot of them are friends of mine that I've known for years. So it's a little intimidating to be doing that, but I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. So I ordered my card.
Absolutely, you are.
They'll be here. For those of you, this is the prototype. Just while we get another card, I'm talking a lot. Do you have anything to?
No, I'm enjoying listening. I'm just slinking back into the audience with everyone else.
This is the prototype. This is the one that I made originally. As you can tell, there's different colors. So whether you're a logical person or you're a spiritual energy person, and the way my program works is life coaching wise, there are 7 layers to us. And chakra, there's a 7 chakras. So that's how it's divided. So we have the foundation or root chakra. Then we have your balance or sacral chakra. We have your commitment or your solar plex. We have your intake or your heart. We have your voice or throat chakra. We have your vision or your brow or third eye, that some people call it. Or we have your connection or your crown chakra. And actually, in the new cards, it's going to be white instead of pink, but that's the only major difference. And then the new cards, this is in English, but when you turn them around, it'll be in Spanish up here. So you have bilingual cards. So if you don't know English, I mean, if you don't know Spanish, you can learn Spanish with these cards while you're practicing with yourself. So and Joseph is here, so I'll let Wayne take care of Joseph, and then I'll be back.
All right, just shuffling for you, Joseph. Let's see. All right, interesting. So this is the second time I think we've seen this card tonight. So you now is the Ten of Swords reversed. So this would tell me that you're basically in a period of karmic release where there's been a lot of lessons learned, probably a very challenging period of time for you emotionally, mentally, physically, having your needs met. But this also shows that you've learned the lesson and you are now ready to process and upgrade to the next level and likely not be having to experience the same challenges that you have over this last period of time when you've been dealing with this type of conflict or whatever this challenge is that you're dealing with. The card that's crossing you is the Two of Swords. So this would tell me that one of the biggest things, and this is similar to the person that the first person I read tonight that got the same, actually, I believe 2 of these cards, is the challenge for you is really making sure that you're seeing yourself clearly, that you're allowing yourself to fully feel your emotions and not just feeling them in the way that you've trained yourself to, so that it's not too much or it's not too little. It's really about being able to take off the blindfold from yourself, stop protecting your heart, and allow yourself to really experience the moment as it is. And that's, again, the card that's challenging you. With that being said, the theme for you is the High Priestess reversed. So this would tell me that you're likely in a period of also feeling like you're not quite sure about truth, reality, what really is, and really being able to understand people on a deeper level. And intuition is, of course, deeply tied to this card as well. So I would say it's likely your intuition has likely been off lately, or it's being upgraded and you're not necessarily able to intuit the way that you have in the past. Recent past affecting your present, you have the Knight of Cups reversed. So there's been some type of emotional turmoil challenge, likely brought on by a male in your life, maybe leading you to this karmic release and karmic challenge that you've been facing, but definitely someone's energy present in your life. And current influences is the Knight of Swords. So you have 2 knights present for you. With this one, this would also mean that you're probably seeing yourself through a much more negative lens than you need to be, which is probably something to be looking at as you process whatever this major event is that's happened to you recently. It's great for you. Future influences coming into being. You have the Four of Wands, which is all about celebration, foundations, but this is also about community and support. So I feel like whatever this big transition challenge that you've recently faced, that has kind of turned your world upside down and is taking you to a new place that you probably didn't think that you would be in, you have a community support around you. So that's definitely something to celebrate and allow yourself to be celebrated by the people that you've surrounded yourself with as well. Internal influences. So this is kind of what you're focused on. You have the King of Cups reversed. So this would tell me that you've probably been seeing yourself from a negative perspective, or likely been dealing with some depression, some heavier processing of emotions and things that you've been challenged by. And that's likely been brought upon by someone in your life who was not outright upfront about their intentions with you. This card is known as the Sneak. And this is what the universe is giving you in the situation. So this would mean that there's been a person that's taken advantage of you in some way, form, stolen some type of idea, maybe stolen actual physical objects, items from you. This feels more like an idea, though. And the universe is highlighting this, that it feels like there was something that was going to be successful, but with this person taking it, it feels like it's not viable anymore. And the difference is maybe this idea isn't viable, but what got you here, the skill set that you have, the mind that you have, the intuition that you have, you're going to have another something that will come forward for you that you'll be able to create that no one will be able to take from you. And this is just going to be a lesson learned from you, for you. Your outcome is the Four of Swords. So it's really just about letting yourself rest, letting yourself be able to get rejuvenated in the way so you can get back up and continue to go out and battle and fight for creating the life that you want to create. But definitely allow yourself the time to rest, and don't let yourself be too jaded about the people that have affected the situation. See them as gifts in the situation so that you've been able to more comfortably reground and figure out the direction that you want to head in next. And I think that you'll find success there for sure. Just allow yourself to kind of relax into the process a little bit more.
Cool. So we've got, let's see, you got Jody, you're next, and then the last one will be Ashley with Wayne. So both of you just hold on for a second. And then Gail says, I don't know why I want to call you Gayla. I don't know, just stop me, maybe because I don't have my glasses on. But Gail said, this is very intriguing. I am a clinical addiction counselor and a clinical social worker. Spirituality is a common topic. Yes, well, I went through rehab, and that's where I kind of started learning about my spirituality. I keep a large poster about the chakras at the office. Yes, one of the cool things about the rehab that I went to was it wasn't just about the AA book. They allowed us to either read from the Bible for morning meditations or from any spiritual book. And actually, being in Houston, Joel Osteen was very big at the rehab that I went to. So I learned a lot from them. The Secret was a big thing at the rehab. We had books and we had the video that we could watch. So, Gail, get in touch. I would love to show you and run a session with you and show you how my program works. And maybe there's a way we can collaborate. So please get in touch. Reach out to me. Reach out to me on Messenger, and all right. So I'll take Jody, and then Wayne will be Ashley, and then we'll be done with the show. So for Jody, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you here on the show. Starting up. There in your yesterday, it's all about the stop. So there are things, actions, personal, professional things that we are doing that we should not be doing anymore. And this could be everything from people, places, and things in our life. And y'all hear me talk about that all the time. And that's all the three things that affect us on a regular basis: people, places, and things. There are people that no longer need to be in our lives. There are places that we no longer need to be going, and there are things that we shouldn't be doing anymore. So it's that hard stop that you came up to. What that's going to do is, here's the music again. The music has been so active tonight, and it's about the rhythm and the beats and the music in your life. It's going to allow you to start getting back into the rhythm that you want. Notice that I didn't say back where you were or normal. It's this new cycle, this new rhythm that's going to be in your life. And I say this because in your tomorrow is all about starting new. So there is a new chapter in your life that's heading out, but we have to see what we did here. Stop on one side, new on the other side. And that's what's going to give you this new rhythm that you're looking for. It's going to allow your spirit to feel your well again. Your energy has started to be depleted again. Now, I'm going to say this because Jody was part of the show and she would come on the show a while back. It's about regaining that energy back into your spirit. We lost some, we gained some, and now we're losing again. Don't lose yourself into these relationships with people, places, and things that deplete you from your energy. Because your heart, give more, is upside down. It's about taking now. And I don't mean in a greedy, nasty kind of way. It's like, I want everything, but a little bit. It's about what's in it for me, and being honest with people in your life that you're like, okay, I'm offering you my friendship, my love, my work. What are you giving me? What's in it for me? And it's okay to ask those things, particularly as we start getting older. I know that Christian and I were very big on like, okay, I have my life. What are you bringing into my life? And once again, see how these cards kind of match up. And Wayne would probably agree with me. Here's the fog. There seems to be a lot of fog lately. We were just so clearing that fog out of your way and realizing, I'm going to say this again, who you really are will allow you to remove those things and those barriers. So Stop giving too much of your energy. It'll clear the fog. It'll fill your energy again to be able to start something new and be able to get back into the rhythm and the life that you want to. But hard stop. Stop giving your energy away, and that's going to make a huge difference. Huge difference. Hope that made sense. Ashley said hello. Oh, yeah, so Ashley's next. Are you still there, Ashley? I hope you're still there. Jody said good. So I'll let Wayne read for Ashley, and then we'll go back to say goodbye.
All right. So, Ashley, it looks like you are on the precipice of a new beginning, a new change. You have for you now the Fool. So, definitely a new beginning for you that is occurring. And the thing that you're currently being challenged by is Temperance. So, this would tell me that you're currently probably overwhelmed by this new start, new beginning, and you're needing to work to better blend and be grounded for all of the things that are around you. So, the way that you're managing yourself going forward. In this new change. With that being said, the theme for you right now, this card's been popping up a lot tonight for a lot of people. It is the Four of Swords, which this is all about rest, rejuvenation, taking time out to contemplate, and then continuing to go out to battle. The battle's still going on, but it's your time to rest, relax. So this is probably definitely a time where you've been more inclined to rest, relax, or probably a period of time where not as much is happening for you. So there's been more time for you to rest and relax, even though I feel like you may be resisting that rest and relaxation somewhat. Recent past affecting your present, you have the Eight of Swords reversed. So this card's really about self-restriction. There's been some type of beliefs, ideals that you've had about yourself that I will say you've recently been analyzing more, recently been looking at more, and kind of trying to better understand why you do some of the things you do, why you think some of the ways that you think, and why you react in certain situations the way that you react. So this is a great card for understanding that and trying to better understand yourself through this process. And current influences is the Chariot. So this would make me feel like you're making decisions around these realizations that you're making. You're making decisions around, I no longer want to react in this way. I no longer want to deal with people in this way. I no longer want this type of person in my life. But there's been this kind of decisions that you've been making within yourself, like, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to handle myself going forward. And I think this is great for you. Future influences coming into being is the Star. So this really is, I feel like you've made a shift in your life and have decided to really live life from the perspective of you and no longer live your life from the perspective of your family and how they tell you should live, your partner, how they tell you should live, kids, all of these things. I feel like all these things coming forward, and there are so many expectations that you felt like you should be doing X, Y, and Z, but it's not necessarily the way that you felt that you should be doing it, but you were doing it because that's the way that it has always been, and there hasn't been that question to it. So there's a deep level of inspiration and I think passion that's surrounding you around being able to craft your own life in a more authentic way that's true to you, that will better support you and be able to support then the people that are around you in your life. What you're focused on is the 10 of Cups reversed. 10 of Cups typically is about emotional fulfillment, family, friends, chosen family, and having that sense of emotional fulfillment. But with it being reversed, what it tells me is that there's been kind of a focus for you on family not necessarily fulfilling the deeper parts of yourself and feeling satisfied with those relationships that you have. So I think that it's important for you to recognize not everyone can be everything that we want them to be to ourselves. Only we can be that to ourselves. So I think that it's important to acknowledge that. And it's also important to acknowledge what the universe is giving you in the situation is finding people that will contribute back. People that are willing, the time and energy you're willing to put with other people are, it needs to be reciprocated, and it hasn't been reciprocated for you, especially not lately. So the universe really wants you to surround yourself and acknowledge the people that are in your life that give you this energy back, that are giving you back the energy that you are putting out. And it's from a level of support, it's a level of emotional support, it's a measure of physical support that you're willing to provide as well. With that being said, the guidance from the tarot is the Two of Swords. So don't allow yourself to be too cut off from what your true needs are. And I think you're going to start finding what better ways to blend what are your true needs and how do you satisfy them? And then how do people around you help you to better support yourself to satisfy your own needs as well? Because it feels like there's been some energies in your life, some people and places, relationships, intimate relationships, friendships that maybe have been takers, that have been more likely to take than give or provide, or reciprocate in some way to say thank you for the energy that you've been putting out for them. So as an outcome card, typically I think people would say, oh, this isn't good, but the universe is really highlighting right now the relationships that aren't working for you, so that you can decide, okay, how am I going to operate in this relationship going forward? And I even recommend, once you decide that, you know what, I want to shift in this relationship, go have a conversation with that person. They may not take it well, but I think being able to level set and set that expectation with them of, I'm not really happy with the way that things have been in this relationship. I'd like for that to change. I'd like for us to get connected on a deeper level. But if we're not able to do that, then I want us to be able to respect that. And you can spend your time with someone else, and I'll spend my time with someone else that's going to fulfill those needs too. So good overall, good energy that's coming with you. And let yourself be, I guess Jiminy Cricket would say, let your conscience be your guide. In this case, I feel like you need to let yourself be your guide in how you're making your decisions.
Cool. I'm getting that message connected, so I'm glad.
Beautiful.
For everybody watching, thank you so much for joining us this week. Remember, we are here every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Don't forget to set your alarm. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new show on the air. And remember, we got shows pretty much every day of the week. We skipped Insightful. For those of you that have been watching our new show, we skipped Insightful because we wanted so bad to do Torch on Trilogy, but we couldn't find it online anywhere. It wasn't streaming. So unless you had a copy of it, you weren't going to be able to see it. So we're going to skip that. And we decided to revamp the show a little bit and bring in more up-to-date movies, newer movies than we wanted to go retro, but we're going to go newer. So stay tuned for the next movie that we're going to bring up, and look for the announcements. Remember, on Wednesdays, we've got Christian and Daniel, which we just celebrated 100 episodes. So we're so excited. We're entering hundreds. Yes. Last Wednesday was 100 episodes. And out of coincidence, we started the show on February 8th, 2020, and the 100th episode was on February 8th, 2023. So
wow,
exactly like 3 years later, we celebrated 100 episodes. And so it's been a long road for that show. So if you're not watching it, you're missing out. So come join us. And then, of course, on Fridays, we have Zodiacs, formerly known as the Card Divo. Now it is the Zodiacs, with our permanent co-host, Mr. Richard Wayne Kilgo II. So come join us. And then on Saturdays, we have put together live streams. So join us. That show is at noon. All the other shows are at 6 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow's Saturday show is at noon. So make sure you catch us for interviews. If you have a story you want to share, come on the show and share your story. Tell us how you put it together, and be part of the show. I also launching a new podcast with a friend of mine. It's called, I know you all, do you need to sleep? No, I don't sleep. I have clones. We're launching. We tried to launch a new podcast last year, and it just didn't work out the way we wanted it. So we're renaming it. We're branding. It's called Things I Know. It's a show about over 50 folks for over 50 folks. So if you're over 50 and you are still wondering about life, come join us. We already recorded our first 2 episodes, and they were really good. So we want to invite you to come and watch and listen to the other shows. There is video added, so those might end up on YouTube. So make sure you follow us for that information. For now, anything left, Mr. Kilgo?
No. Happy Friday, everybody.
If y'all noticed in the beginning, we changed our colors, and we changed the intro song, and we've changed the exit. Not the song, the video. We kept the song because it was made specifically for me, so we wanted. But anyway, pay attention to the credits, and we'll see you folks next week. Bye.